Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Anna's English channel. Today, we're not talking about just anything. We're talking stress. My friend here, Leo, perfectly almost missed his flight this morning.
Anna, you're jumping the gun. It was a real disaster. I feel well now, but I promise you, I was running like a maniac.
Listeners, you heard it. Maniac. Perfectly well. These are our magic words today. Adverbs. They are the powerful little words that describe how something happens.
Learning English shouldn't be boring. Today, we'll learn how to use adverbs naturally through Leo's almost missed flight story. Grab your virtual boarding pass, relax, and listen carefully.
Right. The airport is the best place to observe. People either run quickly or wait patiently.
So, Anna, shall I tell you exactly what happened in that chaotic morning?
Please do, Leo. Take us back to that extremely chaotic moment. I think we've all had those days where time moves surprisingly fast and our brains seem to move slowly.
Oh, don't remind me. It started badly, and I honestly thought it would end even worse. I was peacefully dreaming about a tropical vacation.
Shh, listeners, listen closely. Leo is about to start his passport hunting nightmare.
Suddenly, a beam of light hit my face. It was already 6:30 a.m. My flight was at 8. I screamed loudly and almost fell out of bed.
Oh no, that is a traveler's worst nightmare. 6:30 for an 8 a.m. flight? That's tight. Did you just give up?
No way! I jumped out of bed immediately. I ran to the bathroom, splashed cold water on my face abruptly, and was packing my last few items hurriedly. I was throwing my clothes into my bag carelessly, no time to check.
I can totally picture it. Whenever I'm in that kind of rush, I move clumsily. It's like my hands stop working correctly.
Exactly. I tried to grab my passport rapidly from where I thought I left it, but it was empty. I panicked. I searched everywhere.
Oh, that is terrifying. So where was it? It couldn't have just disappeared.
I finally ran downstairs and found it in the kitchen, right next to the coffee machine. I must have carelessly left it there. I grabbed it tightly and ran outside. The taxi was waiting impatiently, honking its horn.
At least your passport wanted to be near the caffeine. You hopped in. Was the traffic bad?
It was terrible. The driver drove cautiously because it was raining heavily, but we were still moving as fast as the traffic allowed. I kept checking my watch nervously.
It's a tough balance for a driver, to move fast but also cautiously.
Believe it or not, I arrived at the terminal just in time. I paid the driver generously for his help. I breathed heavily with relief when I saw the counter was open. The lady kindly smiled and told me I was the last passenger to check in.
Success! The first hurdle is over. Now comes the part everyone loves to hate, security. How was the queue yesterday? Was it moving quickly?
It was incredibly long, like a giant snake. I stood there patiently for a few minutes, but as time ticked away, I started looking at the clock anxiously. The line was moving steadily, but not fast enough for my liking.
Security is the place where you have to follow instructions exactly. If you don't, the whole process stops abruptly. When I get to the front, I try to move efficiently. I take off my shoes quietly and place my laptop in the bin carefully. I don't want to be the person everyone looks at angrily.
I wish everyone was like you, Anna. There was a man in front of me talking incessantly on his phone. He wasn't listening attentively to the officers. When he got to the scanner, he forgot he still had a belt on. Bzzz. The alarm went off loudly and everyone stopped to look.
Oh, that is so embarrassing. Did the officer speak to him sternly?
No, he handled it very professionally. He told the man firmly that he needed to remove his belt immediately. The man apologized profusely to the people behind him and finally moved through. It was a bit of a mess.
Preparing early is so important. I always put my coins and phone in my bag before I even reach the front. It makes everything go smoother. Remember, if I handle the stress calmly, the whole trip feels much better.
Handle it calmly. That's a good tip for life, not just for the airport.
And you're doing well describing this, Leo. Remember, well is a special adverb. You are a good storyteller, so you tell stories well. We don't say tell stories goodly.
Thanks, Anna. I'm trying to speak fluently so I can explain my kitchen passport story to anyone who will listen.
After security, you finally reach the departure lounge. I love to walk aimlessly through the duty-free shops, smelling the perfumes.
Me too. I like to look at the luxury watches wistfully, even though I can't afford them. But yesterday, I was too hungry. I skipped breakfast, so I went to a cafe near my gate.
Wait, you were late? Did you really have time to sit down and eat leisurely?
Well, I got lucky. As I was walking, I heard an announcement that my flight was delayed by 30 minutes. I breathed deeply and decided I needed a sandwich. The waiter served me promptly, and I ate greedily because my stomach was growling loudly.
Lucky you. A delay is usually bad news, but in your case, it worked out perfectly. I usually find a seat near the big windows and sit comfortably. I love watching the planes. They move gracefully across the tarmac, like a slow-motion dance.
It is. I sat after my meal and watched the ground crew. They were loading the luggage vigorously. They have to work hard to get all those bags on board.
And they have to do it correctly. If they handle the bags roughly, people's belongings might break.
I think we all have that habit. I saw a woman running briskly past me because her gate had changed unexpectedly to the other end of the terminal.
That's why we should always listen carefully to the announcements. If you aren't listening closely, you can miss important information entirely.
I agree. Luckily, I heard my final boarding call clearly. I waited patiently for my group. I saw a family nearby playing a card game happily. It's nice to see people facing the wait positively instead of complaining bitterly.
It really is. If you approach travel positively, the time goes by faster. I'll sit there quietly, read my book slowly, and just soak in the excitement.
That sounds like a wonderfully relaxing way to start a trip.
Then comes the moment we've been waiting for, boarding. I walk forward toward the gate agent and present my boarding pass proudly.
I remember a time I couldn't find my pass immediately. I was fumbling through my bag awkwardly while the people behind me sighed impatiently. I felt so bad.
That is a bit awkward. You have to keep it where you can find it easily. When I board, I walk downward the jet bridge and enter the plane excitedly.
Once on the plane, the next challenge is finding my seat. I look closely at the row numbers. Sometimes people sit in the wrong seat accidentally, and you have to tell them politely.
That happened to me. The man apologized sincerely and moved quickly to his own seat.
After I find my seat, I carefully lift my carry-on into the bin. I'm always worried it might fall abruptly if there is a bump. I saw a guy yesterday trying to shove an enormous suitcase into the bin forcefully. It clearly didn't fit, but he kept pushing stubbornly for 5 minutes.
Some people just refuse to check their bags. The flight attendant calmly explained the bag was too large. The man reluctantly agreed.
Once everyone is seated, I buckle my seatbelt tightly and listen to the safety briefing attentively.
Yes, it's vital to know where the emergency exits are located exactly. Then we wait for the plane to push back. I look outward through the tiny window and watch the airport buildings get smaller gradually as we move toward the runway.
It's a thoroughly exciting feeling. The journey has finally begun.
Now we are in the air. The engines start to roar loudly, and the plane speeds up rapidly down the runway. I always hold my breath slightly during takeoff.
Me too. But once we are high enough, the plane levels out smoothly. The captain speaks reassuringly, telling us the weather at our destination is perfectly clear.
That's always such a relief to hear. I love looking down at the clouds. They look like giant white blankets spread extensively across the sky. Everything looks so peacefully quiet. It makes all your problems feel incredibly small.
It's the best time to relax. I usually use the flight to sleep deeply. But sometimes if the person next to me is friendly, we might chat softly for a while.
I once met a lady who traveled extensively for her work. She told me stories enthusiastically, I listened fascinatedly for hours.
That sounds like a wonderful way to pass the time. Then the food service starts. The flight attendants move gracefully down the narrow aisle. I always ask for my drink politely.
And you have to drink it cautiously. If the plane hits turbulence, your juice might spill suddenly.
Turbulence can be scary. But usually it ends as quickly as it started. The plane flies steadily again.
As we begin our descent, I look eagerly through the window. The city lights twinkle brightly below us as we get closer gradually to the ground.
The landing is my favorite part. The wheels hit the ground firmly, and the plane slows down gradually. We've arrived safely at our destination.
Well, Leo, our airport journey is slowly coming to an end. It's been such a joy traveling with you. Listeners, we used so many adverbs today. They truly are the secret to making your English stories sound more natural.
I hope everyone enjoyed the trip as much as I did. From rushing hurriedly to the taxi to arriving safely at the gate, adverbs helped us explain exactly how every part of the story happened.
Please remember, here we want you to use these words naturally. Don't worry about learning every adverb. Just start with the most common ones: quickly, slowly, well, and hard.
Yes, and adverbs of degree, like extremely, incredibly, and totally, they add emotion. I'm going to make an effort to practice them frequently this week.
That's the spirit, Leo. Practice makes perfect. Now, before we say goodbye, we have 3 questions for our wonderful listeners.
Here they are. 1. When you travel, do you usually arrive at the airport early or late? 2. What is something you always do carefully when you are preparing for a trip? 3. During a long flight, do you prefer to sit quietly and read or talk cheerfully with the person next to you?
We are looking forward to reading your answers. We check our comments regularly. Thank you so much for joining our adventure. If you found this episode helpful, please definitely subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe and share this episode together with your travel friends.
Until next time, keep practicing consistently, speak confidently, and enjoy every part of your learning journey thoroughly.
Goodbye, everyone. See you at the next destination.